Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatade Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, start with the prayer for this week, which is Vijayashtakam. Anybody who would like to sing today?
Hare Krishna, I can sing.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावागनि निर्वापणं श्रेयाकैरवचन् just a second, Prabhu, the voice is coming back to me.
Right now.
चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावागनि निर्वापणं श्रेयाकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतं स्वादनं सर्वात्मस्न परं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम् नाम्नाम् अकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिश तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काल एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवम् ईदृशम् यजनानि नुरागः तृणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुनाम् अमानेन मानदेन कीर्तनया सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहेतुकी त्वयि ऐनन्दा तनुजा किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कज स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गदगदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकेर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविशायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्द विरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां विनष्टु माम् अदृशं मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः प्रभुराशिष्टाष्टकश्लोकायै पठे शूने कृष्ण भक्ति तारा बढ़े कृष्णा प्रेम भक्ति तारा बढ़े दीने दीने। श्री शिष्टाष्टकम की जय। श्री कृष्णदास कबीराज आशय की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anybody can read the translations?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes. Go ahead, Aarti Mataji.
Glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Second, O my Lord, Your holy name alone can render all benedictions to the living being, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Third, one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of Lord constantly. Fourth, O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. Fifth, O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Sixth, O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hair of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Seventh, O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. Eighth, I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or make me broken hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Ninth, if anyone recites or hears these 8 verses of instruction by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his ecstatic love and devotion for Krishna increase day by day. Hare Krishna. Shall I read remarks also, Prabhuji?
Yes, you can read the remarks.
Ji. Remarks. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed his disciples to write book on science of Krishna, a task which his followers have continued to carry out down to the present day. The elaboration and expositions on the philosophy taught by Lord Chaitanya are, in fact, the most voluminous, exacting, and consistent due to the system of disciplic succession. Although Lord Chaitanya was widely renowned as a scholar in his youth, one of his famous doctrines he left behind was the Shiksha Ashtakam. These 8 verses clearly reveal his mission and precepts. The supremely valuable prayers are translated herein. The Chaitanya Charitamrit had these prayers in here in chapter 20 in the Antyalila. The verses are shown in the official name field of this page. The gaps between verses are the purpose by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Verses 1 through 8 are the actual Shishtastakam verses in Sanskrit. The final verse is in Bengali. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Lakshmi, nice recitation. Okay. So yeah, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, yes, Lord Krishna has millions of names, but how merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that he has kind of condensed everything and given us the essence in the Maha Mantra. So all the names just by chanting this Maha Mantra, because he says that all his transcendental energies are in his names, right? And in this Maha Mantra, the primary energies, right? The first expansions of Krishna are Balaram and Srimati Radharani. So all the, like we say, Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavatam are the essence of the Vedas and Vedanta Sutra. Similarly, this Mahamantra is the essence of all the names and all the energies of the Lord. So how powerful this is. And we will realize this. It starts acting when we sincerely chant the holy names through the process of chanting the Mahamantra given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So thank you so much again. So we'll continue with our reading of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. We are on chapter 11. So let me post this link here. So yesterday we had been seeing how Srila Prabhupada is finally able to publish his first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam after a lot of struggles and hardships, but after having receiving noble contribution from Hanuman Prasadji Podar, and then with other contributions, he was able to publish the first volume and print it and bind it. And finally, he was going out to distribute the copies himself. But he had also received a lot of favorable reviews from the various government institutions, as well as various other people, including the vice president here that we read last, Zakir Hussain, and his god brothers. So everybody was very, very thankful that he had done such a noble work. And we saw how I was thinking again, like looking at the press's name also was also mystical. One was OK Press, which means like O Kanha, and the other was Radha Press, right? So, so his work of Srimad Bhagavatam was printed by both Kanha and Radha, Krishna and Radha. So they were so merciful. So the outer cover was printed by the Radha Press, and the actual book was printed by Krishna Press, or Krishna Press. And just like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like we were reading, Shikshashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mode of Srimati Radharani, in the outer covering of Srimati Radharani, but inside he was Krishna. So similarly, the Srimad Bhagavatam helps us develop the love for Sri Radha and Krishna. And we read the pages that have been given to us so lovingly by our beloved founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so with that, we'll continue. We saw those reviews yesterday, like I said, so we have to continue from this paragraph. Anybody would like to read today? Reading from this paragraph, the favorable reviews. No? Okay, I will continue reading them. Huh? You can? Okay, yeah, please. Not able to hear you. You're reading.
The favorable reviews. Although Bhakti Vedanta could not pay the printer with them, indicated a serious response. The book was valuable. The subsequent volumes would earn the series even more respect. By Krishna's grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami had already completed many of the translations and purports for the volume 2. Even in the last weeks of printing the first volume, he had been writing day and night for the second volume. It was glorification of Supreme Lord Krishna, and therefore it would require many, many volumes. He felt impelled to praise Krishna and describe him in more and more volumes. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had said that the presses of the world could not print fast enough the glories of Krishna and the spiritual world that were being received at every moment by pure devotees. Bhaktivedanta Swami decided to return to Vrindavan for several months of intensive writing on Volume 2. This was his real business at Radha Damodar Temple. Vrindavan was the best place for writing transcendental literature that had already been demonstrated by Vaishnava Acharyas of the past. Living in the simple ease, taking little rest and food, he continuously translated their verses and composed his Bhakti Vedanta purports for Volume 2. After a few months, after amassing enough manuscript pages, he would return to Delhi and once again enter the world of publishing. In volume 1, he had covered the first 6.5 chapters of first canto. The second volume began on page 365 with 8th verse of the 7th chapter. Bhaktivedanta Swami wrote in his purport that the Srimad Bhagavatam was meant for Paramhamsas, persons engaged purely in self-realization. Yet, he wrote, it works into the depth of the heart of those who may be worldly men. Worldly men are all engaged in the matter of sense gratification. I lost it. But even such men also will find in this Vedic literature a remedial measure for their material diseases. Bhaktivedanta Swami returned to Delhi to raise funds for printing Volume 2. When he visited a prospective donor, he would show the man, Volume 1, and the growing collection of reviews, explaining that he was asking a donation not to support himself but to print this important literature. Although for the first volume he had received no donations equal to the 4,000 rupees he had received from Mr. Podar, an executive in the L&H Sugar Factory, gave a donation of 5,000 rupees for volume 2. Bhaktivedanta Swami had been dissatisfied with Hitsaran Sharma as a production supervisor. Although supposedly an expert in the trade, Hitsaran had caused delays, and sometimes he had advised Gautam Sharma without consulting Bhakti Vedanta Swami. The work on volume 1 had slowed and even stopped when a job from a cash customer had up, and Bhakti Vedanta had complained that it was Hitsaran's fault for not giving money to OK Press on time. For volume 2, Bhaktivedanta Swami decided to deal directly with OK Press and supervise the printing himself. He spoke to Gautam Sharma and offered a partial payment. Although the majority of copies of volume 1 were still sitting on their printing floor, Bhaktivedanta wanted OK Press to begin volume 2. Gautam Sharma accepted the job. It was early in 1964 when volume 2 went to press, following the same steps as volume 1. But this time, Bhaktivedanta Swami was more actively present, pushing. To avoid delays, he purchased the paper himself at Siddhomal and Sons Press Merchants in the heart of paper district. He would choose and order his paper and then arrange to transport it to OK Press. If the order was a large one, he would have it carried by cart. Smaller orders he would send by rickshaw or on the head of the barrier. In his preface to second volume, Bhaktivedanta Swami expressed the apparent oddity of working in Delhi while living in Vrindavan. The path of fruitive activities, that is to say, the path of earn money and enjoy life as it is going on generally, appears to have become also our profession, although we have renounced the order of worldly life. They see that we are moving in the cities, in the government offices, banks, and other business places for promoting the publication of Srimad Bhagavatam. They also see that we are moving in the press paper market and amongst the bookbinders, also away from our residence at Vrindavan, and thus they conclude sometimes mistakenly that we are also doing the same business in the dress of mendicant. But actually, there is a gulf of difference between the two kinds of activities. This is not a business for maintaining an establishment for material enjoyment. On the contrary, it is an humble attempt to broadcast the glories of Lord at the time when people need it very badly. He went on to describe how in former days, even 50 years ago, well-to-do members of society had commissioned Pandits to print or handwrite the Bhagavatam and then distribute copies amongst the devotees and the general people. But times had changed. At the present moment, the time is so changed that We had to request one of the biggest industrialists of India to purchase 100 copies and distribute them, but the poor fellow expressed his inability. We wish that somebody may come forward to pay for the actual cost of publication of this Srimad Bhagavatam and let them be distributed free to all the leading gentlemen of the world. But nobody so far prepared to do this social uplifting work. After thanking the Ministry of Education and the Director of Education for distributing copies to institutions and libraries, Bhaktivedanta Swami again stated his predicament before his reading public. The problem is that we must get some money for completing the work, which is admittedly a mighty project. The sales proceeds are being employed in the promotional work and not in sense gratification. Herein lies the difference from the fruitative activities. And for all this, we have to approach everyone concerned just like a businessman. There is no harm to become a businessman if it is done on account of the Lord, as much as there is no harm to become a violent warrior like Arjun or Hanumanji if such belligerent activities are executed to satisfy the desires of Supreme Lord. So even though we are not in Himalayas, even though we talk of business, even though we deal in rupees and paisa, still simply because we are 100% servants of Lord and are engaged in the service of broadcasting the message of His glories, certainly we shall transcend and get through the invincible impasse of Maya and reach the effulgent kingdom of God to render Him face to face eternal service in full bliss and knowledge. We are confident of this factual position, and we may also assure to our numerous readers that they will also achieve the same results simply by hearing the glories of the Lord. Let me know, Prabhu, when to stop. On receipt of the first copies of second volume, another 400-page cloth-bound, brick-colored Srimad Bhagavatam with the same dust jacket as volume 1. Bhaktivedanta Swami made the rounds of the institutions, scholars, politicians, and booksellers. One Delhi bookseller, Dr. Manohar Lal Jain, had particular success in selling volumes. Manohar Lal Jain. He would come to me for selling his books. He would come often, and he used to chat with me for 1 or 2 hours. He had no other business except selling his books as much as possible. He would discuss the difficulties he was having and also many other things yoga, Vedanta, and religious aspects of life. His problem was distributing his work because it was a big publication. He had planned to publish it in many volumes, naturally. I told him it was not possible for any individual bookseller or publisher here to publish it or invest money in it. So that was a little bit of disappointment for him because he could not bring out more volumes. But my sales were good because this was the best translation, Sanskrit text with English translations. No other such edition was available. I sold about 150 to 200 copies in about 2 to 3 years. The price was very little, only 16 rupees. He had published his reviews and he had a good sell, a good market. The price was reasonable and he was not interested in making money out of it. He was printing in English for the foreigners. He had a good command of Sanskrit as well as English. When we met, we would speak in English, and his English was impressive. He wanted to publish, but he didn't have any presses or no finances. I told him frankly I would not be able to publish it because it was not 1 or 2 volumes but many. But he managed anyhow. I referred him to Atmaram and Sons. He also used to go there. He was a great master, a philosopher, a scholar. I used to enjoy the talks. He used to sit with me for 1 or 2 hours, as much as he could afford. Sometimes he would come in the morning 11 or 12 and then sometimes in the afternoon. He used to come in for money. How many copies are sold? So I would pay him. Practically, he was not doing very well with finances at that time. He only wanted that his books should be sold to every library and everywhere where the people are interested with it. We used to publish a catalog every month, and I would advertise his book. Orders would be coming from all over the world. So, at least for me, the sales were picking up. So, I sold 100 copies of first volume. Then I figured the second volume would be sold in same number naturally. But definitely, those who would take the first volume would also take volume 2 because it was institutional, and institutions will always try to complete their set. He used to discuss with me how the volumes can be brought out and how many it would take to complete Srimad Bhagavatam. He was very much interested in bringing out the whole series in January
You
of
can pause.
1960.
We'll pause here.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Any thoughts or reflections?
Yeah, can we see how much Prabhupada is wanting to do things on his own to get best results and not rely on anybody else? Um, his expertise is we can see that in the reading his expertise on doing everything. He was a one-man army. He was not a big scholar, but also he was carrying out the things a businessman do, but this was not a material business, as people started seeing maybe at that time that he was going everywhere and doing everything. But he did write in the preface for the second volume that what all the things he was doing, though it would look like material in the eyes of everyone, it was more it was everything was 100% spiritual because he was doing it for Krishna and a service to mankind. There is it reminds me of this thing that there is only as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told to Sanatan Goswami, there is only 3 dharma in this world: Jivedaya, Vaishnav Seva, and Jivedaya, Vaishnav Seva, Name Ruchi. Yes, so Prabhupada was showing mercy to the people in general, Jivedaya, which is the biggest dharma according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatan Sikh Shiksha. So that was my reflection, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yes, yeah, like you said, it was the compassion that he had overflowing in his heart, and we know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the ocean of compassion, ocean of mercy, and the true followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Rupa Goswami as Rupanugas, Srila Prabhupada had the same mood of compassion. And yeah, we see even today, like in all the temples, it is not like, so while, of course, while we're publishing the books and selling the books, it is mostly to cover the printing cost, and the main goal is to distribute this transcendental literature so that it can reach the far and wide corners of the world, so that people can get enlightened, right? And of course, many of these temples even today distribute free prashadam every day. If you in this Vrindavan, every day there is free prashadam that is being distributed. In New Vrindavan that we went to yesterday, day before, I was talking again with Lakshman Prabhu. He was mentioning how in the past there were struggles there also, right, where we were not able to give more than Khichdi Prashad. But with Krishna's mercy, again, with the sincerity of the devotees who are following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara, now today it's a bustling community People are coming there from all parts of the country, all parts of the world to take darshan. It has the oldest cow sanctuary in the world, here at least, in the United States. And yeah, the prasadam every day, they are feeding so many people. Hundreds of people come, especially even now in spring, even in winters and spring. And of course, once it is summer, it will be in thousands. And all this is being done free of cost, freely being distributed. So there's a lot of work. Yeah, sometimes people just who want to look at things in a negative sense, they would say, oh yeah, we are doing a business. But like here Srila Prabhupada is saying, this is a transcendental business, right? So, and our Vaisheshika Prabhu calls this our family business, distributing these books. So thank you so much. Thank you, and also wishing Meenakshi Moini a very happy appearance day. Because of her, I think we have been able to distribute so many services, and so thank you to you that I'm able to do whatever I'm able to do, without which it would not be possible. So may Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara bless you, and may you continue to grow in bhakti. Thank you so much. Any other comments, reflections? Vishwanath Prabhu, anything from you?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, how are you doing?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji, this is a very nice section again. One of my favorite section, because obviously it deals with the book distribution and how Srila Prabhupada, how he struggled. Every time that read these sections here, it give us some sort of impetus to say, okay, this is what Srila Prabhupada, what he went through, what he to give us this thing that. So we have that duty towards him, a responsibility towards him, because again he takes on, just like Nityananda Prabhu said, that I'll give this name freely to everybody. He asked Lord Chaitanya in that he said, give this name and I'll take responsibility. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada take that responsibility for us, and he passed that on to our Guru Varga, and they take responsibility and so on. So therefore, we should take responsibility as well, so that we share this in the same mode of spirit, in a mode of spreading this word. You mentioned as well to the how in terms of the prasadam, what he wanted to give out. I'm so happy now that in Cincinnati, at least we're trying to go out to different places and start doing some free prasadam distribution to different places. I think this is Srila Prabhupada will make him the happiest, because he was really into distribution prasadam to people. So that's my take on this here, to this reading today, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you so much, Vishwanath Prabhu. Yes, yeah, Food for Life. I think this will be a wonderful initiative in Cincinnati, and yeah, collectively, and a lot of devotees are putting in a lot of efforts day and night, just as how, like you said, our Guru Varga and Srila Prabhupada, they were putting in their efforts. So we can already see, so many devotees so sincere and without any, again, need for name and fame and gain. Right? There's a lot of the volunteers, a lot of commanders in the army of Srila Prabhupada are helping out in so many ways. So all glories to all the wonderful devotees. Thank you so much. Okay, anything else before we wrap up? Meenu Mataji, anything from you? Not heard your
Hare
voice.
Krishna Prabhuji. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm just listening quietly. And, appreciating all of you with reflections and all the services everyone does. You, Meenakshi Moini Mataji, Vishwanath Prabhu, and everybody else. Nalin Prabhu, you guys put in so much of yourself into any service you do and wholeheartedly. I'm just appreciating and being grateful that I am in such an esteemed company and learning from all of you. Thank you, Prabhuji, everyone, for whatever you do. It's a blessing. Thank you.
Sure, Prabhupada, we are all inspiration for each other. We are taking inspiration from you, having come into the movement for the last 2 years, how much effort you're putting in selflessly. So yeah, it's like we all need each other's company. So thank you for being with us and growing this congregation together. So Hari Bol, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. All right, thank you so much for your participation and enthusiasm and determination. So with that, we'll conclude for today with Vaishnav Pranam prayers. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Happy
you.
Krishna conscious birthday to Meenakshi Mohini Mataji.
Oh, happy birthday, Meenakshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Please bless me.
birthday.
Please bless me, dear devotees, that I may serve you all in Krishna and Radharani. Thank you so much.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Happy birthday.